For fun. I broke your slate, Matt.
I've had this for 20 years. Hello and welcome to This Is. Have mobile gaming laptops gone too far, or they have not gone too far enough? Austin, may I present to you the 2022 Razer Blade 15?
Ooh. On the surface, this looks very similar. In fact, I don't think from the outside you can tell any difference at all between this and the last couple of generations of Razer laptops. They're thin, they're very Macbook-y, and they feel, generally speaking, nice.
We have the fully spec'd out model of this.
A review unit Razer let us borrow, by the way, because we're not going to spend $4,000 on a laptop.
Correct.
Most of the time.
We want to clarify that. So this unit has an i9 12th gen CPU, a 3080 Ti, 32 gigs of RAM. It is a 4K 144 hertz display. The ports on this are amazing. It's got USB 3.2. Thunderbolt. It's got A. It's got C. It's got Wi-Fi 6E. This thing is an absolute monster. Or Red Bull.
You beat me to the joke, Matt. You beat me to the joke. I'd like to shout out Red Bull. Thank you very much for providing me lots of entertainment on
We are not sponsored
F1
by
races.
any of these things. We're never going to make money on This Is when you just keep giving away free sponsorships. Look, this thing, one of the best laptops out on the market, spec-wise.
Yeah.
But should you get it? And the answer is probably not.
So one of the things that just right off the bat I think is worth talking about is that the top-end configurations on thin and light Razer laptops generally aren't worth it. Not only because they're very expensive, but because with these thin and light chassis, they are very limited by cooling. And regardless if you get this 15 with a 3060, 3070, 3080, 3080 Ti, they all have about, 105 watts of TDP?
Maximum 105 across the board.
You're gonna hit the law of diminishing returns, which is I even though I have a 3080 in my Blade 14, honestly, probably should get like the 3060 or 3070 because you don't see that much additional advantage because you don't have enough power to really kind of let it stretch its legs. It's nice to see that you have this as an option, but just right off the bat, even though you might look at the $4,000 price tag and be like, I think it's really worth considering these things from a slightly different perspective of don't max them out, especially because with the 15 and like the 14, you can upgrade the RAM and it has an additional M2 slot inside that you can just drop a drive right into. 14 is non-upgradable RAM. I think you can still upgrade the SSD on it, but the 15 is a sort of more upgradable device. However, it is fairly expensive, right?
I mean, $4,000 for anything is a lot.
You're talking $2,500 to $3,000 for what I would consider to be like a reasonable spec. If you were considering buying a Razer laptop, good general advice is that the low to mid specs are usually where it's at, especially when it comes to the 15. You can easily buy this, the $2,500 to $3,000 spec, upgrade the RAM if you need a little bit more, add an extra SSD, but by spending so much extra on the GPU, you're not gonna get that much more performance going from like a 3060 to a 3070 or 3080. Like the price differences are huge.
We had kind of talked before this that you probably should just do the 14 as opposed to the 15,
which is about $300 to $500 cheaper based on the configuration.
Now, if you did want the larger screen, I get it, whatever. The kind of issue I had with the 15 here, it's supposed to be a thin and light form factor, but you're not really getting any of the benefits of a thin and light after a while because me using this on a day-to-day basis, it's a laptop. Now, I'm not expecting to play AAA games on this thing while it's on my lap.
You should.
Well, I want to be able to play some games on this. You know, like I like to play like City Skylines. We're watching like a movie or something like that. I would call this unusable on my lap because of how hot this thing got. I'm not expecting to push things at ultra high settings, like turn it down, but like I was playing Bloons Tower Defense. Any phone on the planet can play that game.
Yeah.
And this thing was still ramping up and getting a crazy amount of heat on there. It wasn't so hot on my lap, it was hot on my hands. So like I almost feel like with this device, you have to treat this as a full desktop replacement that just is thin and light in your backpack. But if you want to do really anything with this on the go, you should be expecting to bring like a keyboard, a mouse with it.
I'm looking here, just feeling the laptop, which is it's not doing anything, but it's surprisingly warm toward the
just like where you naturally would like rest your hands on this device.
It's so warm you don't want to touch this thing.
It's not comfortable to even use the keyboard.
That's
to me.
a problem.
Like I want to like this form factor. I want to really like this device, but if it's not physically comfortable to use.
Huge problem, especially when you're spending this kind of money.
Razer very intentionally tries to make these the MacBooks of Windows. It's very hard for me not to compare these two because the M1 is cold to the touch constantly. The fan, even at load, barely turns on, whereas this one, playing a minor game, starts to ramp up.
This laptop is just sitting here idling, and it is very warm to the touch on the back, doing nothing but sitting on the Windows like home screen. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, Razer laptops tend to be a little warm. Sometimes are a little bit on the louder side, which fair enough, especially when you have this full CNC aluminum chassis.
Yeah.
That is just kind of part of where the heat goes.
It's not like crazy loud on this when you're doing minor tasks, but the fact that you're doing minor tasks and it's turning on kind of at all. So like, again, I know it's not a one-to-one comparison, but like when I'm talking about a thin and light laptop, that's the kind of stuff I want with this. Can I game on the Mac? No, absolutely not. But you know what I can do? I can play those games like City Skylines on my lap comfortably. I'm not trying to say that the MacBook is so much better of a device. It's just that like once you get a taste of what that life is like, it's so hard to go to anything else that doesn't give you that.
I get your point in that if Apple is able to deliver incredibly powerful performance, mind you, a GPU is not going to touch this, but you've got a lot of performance in a form factor which does not have to get loud or hot and whatnot. And the thing is, this is not really something that Razer can truly fix because they can only use the chips they can get from Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA. And the trend is very much to push for more and more performance on higher and higher TDPs. So I get it. There are some Razer-y issues when you go this thin, this light, and this kind of form factor. I will say, though, based on my brief hands-on time with this Blade 15, the screen is terrific. So this is the 4K, I believe you said it's 144
4K,
hertz, right?
144 hertz.
Looks phenomenal. Although I will say, part of your power draw issues and whatnot, refreshing the 4K screen at 144, probably not doing any favors to your battery life and to the overall heat that's being generated. But regardless, I think
I'm giving the battery life, I'm not saying a pass, because it is actually like fairly good battery life. With how much is shoved in this thing, the battery life is not bad at all.
My thought is this, right? If you are in the market for a Razer laptop, you know what you're looking for. You want that thin design. You want the Razer sort of aesthetic, which I'm personally a big fan of. I think that Razer make the most handsome gaming laptop.
Yeah,
as
and
far
we
as
haven't even talked about the per RGB chroma.
Yep,
like,
absolutely.
That's all great in there. Like we've just come to expect all those like good things from it. I just think that this model
too much,
ain't it?
If you go and you buy the maxed out 15 configuration, they've turned things up to 11 in a way that has compromised the usability of this device. But that being said, it is a high-end Razer Blade gaming laptop. Obviously, it's got the most up-to-date cutting-edge specs, which you would expect. But what it is not going to do is give you any kind of revolutionary experience if you've already been used to using Razer laptops in the past.
I want to like this laptop a lot, and I don't think that the Blades are bad laptops in any way. I just think this is the configuration that no one should buy.
Yeah.
Get the base model. I think you're going to be happier in the long run. You're going to save a lot of money.
But let us know what you think in the comments below. Are you ready to go and shell out your hard-earned Razer bucks to buy yourself a new Blade? Or would you rather buy a G14 or Alienware or a Matt's special sauce laptop? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.